Welcome to this look at a very different new mod map on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. I am here on Mars the Mission, and as the thumbnail says, it's out of this world. This is very cool, and as you've just seen, when you first come on here, the shuttle takes off from over here and goes up, across and out of the exit, and we are in a dome. We're terraforming, people. This is a shake and bake colony. It does say in the description, welcome to the Mars Colony, Commander. This map is all about survival, so put your man pants on and let's get started. I like that. Good way to introduce a map. Now, I'm on New Farmer, and it does say in the description, it is designed to be played in New Farmer. It says, only the New Farmer mode supported in the map. The others are irrelevant. Well, that's not strictly true. I've been onto all three game modes to check to see slot counts, whether the same vehicles and equipment and stuff are there. And they are. But you'd have to cheat some money in. No, you can't. It is irrelevant. I was just going to say, you'd have to cheat some money in. On PC you might be able to, but console you won't. That's what's saying dawned on me. It'll make sense in a moment. Anyway, this is my Farmer Bob. It's 107.52 megabytes download. As far as required mods, there are none. As far as mods added in to the build mode, we have got under silos an 800,000 litre Farmer 800. That's been modded so that is a multi-fruit silo. And we've got a few of those on the map already. And then we've got under container, we've got some containers for fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, and we've got the Karma 16s, which is normally seed and mineral feed. So we've got those. What I like about this, it is quirky, it is different, and even for people that say, well, it's not farming, it is farming. It's 100% farming. That's all that's happening on here is farming. It's just a different environment, and it's clever and it's quirky. It's a little bit like Frontier. This really stands out as something a bit different. What I like is the way it's been put together. To say it has a very space feel to it, of course it does. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. There are no custom crops on this map. Contracts are not available. You do start with the whole plot, and that's why farm management start from scratch is, on console at least, not a viable option. If we go into here, you start with the whole thing on New Farmer. And the whole thing, if I click on that, is 11,608,700. So if you come onto a farm manager and start from scratch, you don't have enough money to buy the land. So you can't even buy a single small plot. What's the outside? Yeah, the outside plot is 9,362,000. So you can't even afford to buy a small plot and put some government subsidy signs on or something like that. So the only way you can cheat money in, maybe, I'm trying to think how you would go about it. Multiplayer, but no, even then you'd have to have the land. Yeah, it won't work. I'm sure people will think, I'm racking my brains. There's going to be something really obvious potentially that could solve that problem. But anyway, for the time being, New Farmer is what you need to be on when you start. We'll go back to the map because this is it. We're inside a large dome. And this comes down to a bit of sort of creative thinking and a bit of depends how you want to play the game. It does say to win the game, you need to terraform Mars' atmosphere in 20 years. So you've got 20 seasons. To achieve this, you have to plant 10,000 trees. You have to have 20 large beehives, 160 cows, 720 chickens, 195 sheep, 540 pigs, and 800,000 litres each of any 6 crops in your storage bin. So any 6 crops you choose, about 800,000 litres. Now, when you hit those goals, as far as I know, the game won't end. That's just say an arbitrary, but it's a target that's been set for you to aim for. Now, if you want to play this game nefariously, you could get on here on a new farmer, put in some government subsidy signs, and with all the mods and stuff available, you could buy all of that if you wanted to, which would defeat the point. Why would you even bother doing it? So there are ways you can cheat the system, so to speak, but that's been set up. Now, you might decide, well, actually, I want to do more or less. There are a few things that might hold you back, especially, well, maybe not, especially with regard to the animals, but we'll see that as we go around. We've got quite a few fields, and as you can see, when we come onto here, our growth on New Farmer, we have nothing's growing. So we are pretty much start from scratch. We've got a few things. We've got some extra domes we're going to go and have a look at. It's mind-boggling. It's very cool though. We do have all the productions off the start because we own all the land. The rules I've just spoken about. The farmland. There are 12 collectibles. I haven't seen one yet. It does say in the description. And the slot count is 929. Now that is on all three game modes, but like I said, you can't... Yeah, the other two aren't going to work technically. But 929, which isn't too bad when you consider the amount of equipment and machinery we've got. Actually, I'm going to show you that now. We go into here and we go to our owned items. I suppose the cost of one of the private contracting space companies, several are available, to transport your stuff up here. If you decide you want to sell some stuff and get some new stuff, you've got to wait for a shuttle or to bring your next bit of equipment, but that's up to you. So export to Earth is our sell point back to Earth. That gets transported by shuttle back. Haven't actually looked at the prices. I mean, I think they're pretty much standard. I don't think they're... So I would have thought if you're exporting back to Earth, the price would be a little bit higher, but it looks like it's pretty standard. So this is our export to Earth. I mean, everything's pretty clearly signposted, which makes life a little bit easier. If we whiz down here, we've got a few rocky bits. This is one of those maps I was almost hoping, and there's nothing to stop you putting some stones in and stuff like that. There are some rocks as we get a bit further around. I was hoping they were going to be breakable, like on Silver Run with the Platinum expansion, so you can break the rocks and make them into smaller stones and then lime and I don't think they are. I will double check it later on. Fuel processing unit. Now, there are some mods available that allow you to produce your own fuel, which might be a cool shout to put something in. It's pretty flat across the dome. We've got a raised section in the middle, but if you want to place things down, you could. This is basically a gas station. We've got a gas station and an electric charge point here at the gas station. But it's all this stuff. It really does look... It's just clever. I really like this. So we'll head down to the first large dome, which has got a few bits in it. It's the big cranes and stuff everywhere as well. I'm just thinking as well of all the shipping containers, the wood storage ones, all the various different things, the large cranes for moving stuff around. You could really go to town on this. We've got the oil refineries and stuff, haven't we? All those various different mods, crude oil and that kind of thing. So you could also put on here, you could simulate you're drilling into the ground, you're taking minerals out. There's the rock crushing one by MrSealyp, which does it does sand and gold ore and iron ore, and you could have an iron ore mine on here. I mean, like I say, what you could do on here, I said this on my mod review the other day, I literally started my new Let's Play yesterday. First episode went up and then this dropped later on in the day, and I was, oh there you go, shuttle's just come in. So looks like there's a regular shuttle service. But anyway, this is your reset point, just out here on this area. So if you need to reset this on the map, it'll reset back to here. We have these. Now, whether you want to treat them as an airlock or not, because we are within a larger dome, so technically you don't need to, but we have got airlock doors, so if you wanted to, you could. I mean, that would be more the fact that whatever's in here, you don't want it escaping out. And we've got, I don't know, the other walls had them, like an aircon unit on them. Because if there are productions and things that are going on in here, there may be things, byproducts being produced, gases being produced, you don't want going out into the larger dome, potentially. Anyway, Vehicle shop is just here for purchasing of vehicles and equipment. Over here, now this does say spinnery. We do have another spinnery out there, which is curious, but that does definitely say spinnery. And then we come a bit further along. We've got our animal dealer, which is just here. So if you're producing far too many animals and you want to send some back to Earth, you can. I mean, I don't know that you would, but the only downside is under build mode, what would have been cool would be to have extra domes, so you could put stuff out and you could potentially put a dome over something in various different sizes. That'd be quite cool. But again, I'm just kind of, you know, pie in the sky sort of thing. This is your workshop trigger, so repair, selling, etc. can be done here. And we come across here, and we've got bale sales just round the corner here. Now, we're going to grab the first vehicle, which is a little bit out here. I have left both those open. Nothing's running. It's all good. Don't worry. I probably will do for the rest of the map tour. I won't necessarily open and close them as you would do with airlocks, but you can if you want to. So whiz across here, we come to the first of our bits of equipment, and we have the Mahindra. We do have a tractor over there just by one of the fields ready to start. It's all this stuff like the satellite dishes and I don't know. It's clever. We've got a ramp that leads up to the top section, the mezzanine level on our Mars colony. And you'll notice, look, got to go spacesuit, look. I've mentioned this before. It's one thing I think has been missed, I think, has missed a trick on Farming Simulator 22, considering clothing and changing your clothing was such a big thing, or is such a big thing, that there haven't been more updates, upgrades done from Giant's side to implement different more costumes, you know, adding more things in. Because you think on this, if there was a spacesuit, I know, you know, why would Giants put in a spacesuit? But it's that thing of, on here, that would be just fantastic, wouldn't it? Anyway, all that aside, if we come all up here to the top section. Now, because you own it all, you can create new fields, you can play out new ones if you want to. At the top here, we do have a Damcon planter, and we do have a weight, and we do have a load of saplings. So to get you started on your tree planting, your task of 10,000 trees, if that's what you want to do, if you want to do more, fine. I think 10,000 might be the limit, mightn't it? And there are some down there already under the forestry, but all around this top section you could plant the whole lot with trees if you wanted to. That's the exit out onto Mars itself. You can't actually go out of there, but it is there. If we drive right the way along the top here, we come to our sleep trigger. So we've got a little caravan. Now, a lot of the buildings, the domes you can't remove, but the productions you can, or at least I tried one of them and it worked, so I will try the others. So if the productions that are on here aren't ones that suit your needs, you can always put other ones in. It's entirely up to you. And because of some of the ones, what's good about this, because this is about terraforming, not about making money, so you could speed that process up and you could probably do it quicker than 20 years. Obviously, if you want to challenge yourself, if you've got seasonal growth or if you've got seasons on, you're tied down to the seasonal growth cycle. If you have it turned off, you can plant and harvest whenever you want, as long as it's taken the requisite time required to grow the particular crop. But it would be easier to have seasons turned off. So if you want to challenge yourself a bit more, have seasons turned on, and then you are running through a proper, you know, growth cycle. So our sleep trigger is tucked away up here, but all of this land, yeah, could be used. I think having mining and a quarry and that kind of thing on here would fit really well. I guess it's been kind of left open. If you wanted to do something like that, you could. I'm going to stop this just here, and then we're going to go down the slope. I say slope, cliff. Over there we've got another electric charge point. Now, I did think those solar panels were solar panels that we owned. I think they are there for decoration. Because if we go into here and we go to demolish, and I spin that round and go to here, it doesn't give you the option to remove them. What I might do is skip ahead past 9 o'clock and we'll see if the money goes up at all, because I don't think they are. But we've got an electric charge point just behind here. I guess that's what those are for the electric charging. And then we come over to our first smaller dome. We've got the larger dome over there. And this one's got a lot of our vehicles and machinery. Not all of it, we've got a lot of vehicles and machinery scattered around all over the place. That's what I mean. So you've got the little sort of unit there. So to simulate that, I suppose, once if you're taking your vehicles out there, they're going to be producing, yeah, pollution anyway. So I guess the main dome would have to deal with that. But anyway, in here, we've got regular harvester with a regular header and a corn header. We've got a cotton harvester as well. I assume these were all brought up here in pieces. Small pieces over a long period of time. We've got a seeder, we've got a planter and a Massey Ferguson. We've got our spray fertiliser and fertiliser lime spreader. Forage wagon, trailers. I like this as well. Just a little breakout room in the dome. I'm going to walk across the next bit because we'll grab the next tractor. The next tractor is JCB, which will be a little bit quicker. If we whiz over to here, we've got the first of our silos. Now, it says 6 crops in your storage bins, any 6 you want, 800,000 litres of each. We have 3. I said we have 1. Oh, they are separate silos. I was going to say we have 1 silo and 2 extensions, but they are 3 silos. So you might need to put some more silos in. But anyway, colony food storage. We've got 3 Farmer 800s, 800,000 litre. These are the modded ones, so these are multi-fruit, so you can pick what you want. And we do actually start with a trailer with some sugar beet in, which I think is the only thing. I think one of the tankers has got some water in, but I don't think any of the other silos have got anything else in. I'm just going to double check. Can I get through there? No, they're all empty. As I was saying, so not having a monetary target means that you could put government subsidy signs in. You could, if there was a monetary target, or if you thought, well, I need some processing that's going to pay me more. I need some products that come out more that give me more money. It's not about the money. That's the thing. So whilst you can pick and choose whatever processes you want, of course you can. Any productions you can chuck in here. But it is more about the terraforming and the actual the farming. But I suppose you're going to need money if you want to upgrade equipment. If you want to buy different stuff, you can. But yeah, not necessarily what it's about. So we've got our fertiliser tank there and liquid fertiliser tank just next to it. We come across here, we've got our oil mill. We've got a great processing unit. We've got another spinnery and we've got a bakery. So these are all your productions. And like I say, all of these, because you own the land already, you start with these on New Farmer off the start. Now, I tried the oil mill, but what I am going to do, let's go into here. So if these aren't ones you particularly want to use, if you find you might want to use a more industrial looking building, there might be a modded one you want to use, these can all be sold and the buildings do get removed. Sometimes you sell a production on a map and the building doesn't go, so you don't have the production. Can I get rid of those? I don't think so. So that can be removed if you want to, and then we have got a grain mill further over, which I assume will be able to be removed as well. Now, if the whole space thing is messing with your head and you think it's all a bit stupid, just think of it as farming in a different country, a country far away that you've never been to. We've got 2 Karma 16 silos just there, and then we've got our grain mill here. Now, this is one bit. I don't know whether the map will get an update. Potentially, there may be a couple of things that may require it, but this is your command centre. Inside the command centre, we've got a tractor and trailer, and we've got a skid steer loader. However, and it's all very nicely made, the doors don't open. There's nothing that comes up to open doors. But here's the thing, I don't know if some kind of Klingon technology, some kind of cloaking device, I'm not sure, but we can just go straight through it, which is a bit weird. I don't think it's supposed to do that. And inside we've got these. So if this was a solid building and we couldn't get in here, that I found no way, no switch, no button, no trigger point for opening this door. But these are inside it. So like I say, maybe one reason. I did think at the back, but I went all the way around the building, and that's the only sort of door-shaped object. So yeah, potentially it will get an update. And then over here, we've got 3 large greenhouses. I was just going to say, did I pass a water point somewhere? I'm sure there was one. Did I miss it? And there's plenty of mods to put in water points if you want to. There's wells and all sorts of things which would work quite well. Is there water on Mars? That's the question. So 3 large greenhouses, and we do have a little tanker here that does start with some water in it. There you go, 8,000 litres in there. We'll go back to our JCB. And we'll head over to the animals. Now, the animals, I would say, it has set you parameters already. Like I say, the amounts of animals it's requesting that you need to terraform or to win the game are the exact numbers that these particular animal pens will provide. But there are a couple of things. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. A lot of maps, animal pens and stuff are fixed in place. And if you want to place more pens, actually I don't know how close to the limit we might be. You can place them outside. Now, MrSealyp, I was already thinking it. MrSealyp asked a question. Why are the animal pens inside separate domes if you are inside a larger dome as a whole? Now, my way of thinking about this is how my brain worked, was if the animals are producing methane or any other kind of gas that you don't want necessarily leaking out into the atmosphere, or you want to store it, collect it, use it, however you want to think about it, keeping them within another dome means you can have processing units by the side of them which will process that methane or whatever it is they're producing, and it doesn't go out into the larger dome, potentially. I mean, that's just how I've reconciled it in my head. I don't, yeah, however you want to do it is yours. But as I was saying about the Platinum expansion with the rock crusher, rock breaker, having this here with all these rocks on it, that would be a really cool feature. And that's another thing that since Silver Run came out, the Platinum expansion, on console at least, there hasn't been another map other than Silver Run that has had breakable rocks. Now, there are a couple of mods, and you could use it on here, which would work really, really well, which you can place rocks down which are breakable. So if you wanted to, again, there's a whole expanse of things you could definitely add to this if you wanted to. But anyway, let's get back to the animals now. There aren't any animals in here, so I'm not too worried about any methane leaking out. The first one, we've got pigs. We've got 2 pig corrals, 270 in each, and it does say the requirement is 540, and that's what these 2 will hold. Now, if these pig pens aren't your thing, you might decide, oh, actually, I'd rather have an open one. There is a problem, and this is what I'm saying as well, potentially about maybe an update. I don't know. And this may be set in stone. This might be done absolutely on purpose for this reason that you have to use these ones. If I go into build mode and go to demolish, it puts me outside here. I can zoom in to there, but it brings me to the edge of the dome. I can't get inside the dome in build mode, which means I can't demolish any of the animal pens in any of the domes, because technically it's putting me on the outside of the dome and the dome isn't removable. So I can't remove those. So I thought if I removed a couple of those and put in an open one, that might be quite cool. Have the animals wandering in there. It won't allow me to. The other thing it won't allow me to do as well, if I come off of there and we go to what do I want? Landscaping, painting, or not painting, plants. Let's go to plants and go to meadow. Finally, I want to put some grass down. Again, I can't paint inside the domes. It won't let me. Outside the dome, no problem at all. I can paint to my heart's content. Inside, it's not going to let me. So, whether that's a deal breaker for you or not, I don't know. But like I say, I think that's why the numbers that have been given, we don't actually start with any beehives, but it does say 20 large beehives. But the amounts of animals fit exactly with the animal pens we already start with. So, like I say, take that as you will. I'm just showing you what's on the map, pointing out what's here. Next one over, we've got our sheep. We've got 3 sheep pens in this one, each holding 65. The required amount is 195. There's one there and two next to each other just there. So that's for your sheep. It's just I just feel that I'm not trying to be nitpicky. It's just when you're doing a map tour, it's a map tour, map review. I'm just kind of, my brain's ticking over all the potentials. If you came on here to do a let's play and play on it, what you might want to do. It's a lot of open space in the dome that's not being used, but you can't use it because you can't place anything in there. So, you know. All right, let's grab the tractor. And we'll head off to the next pen. Next one is chickens. This has got 2 chicken pens in. And like again, right over the back, and the rest of that dome is unusable. So, yeah. Each one holds... Look at my notes, not where I'm driving. Each one holds 360. Required amount, 720. I do like that, just... The sound is perfect. Each one of these does have a, I'm assuming it's a loading ramp. Looks like a loading ramp for, might be for loading, well it won't be for loading or unloading your animals because the pens are over there. But those two little chicken coops in this massive dome. And then next door we've got our cows. Now the cows do take up a lot of the dome. Much bigger prospect, although less animals. So we've got 2 cow barns with feed robots, and we've also got some equipment and machinery in here as well, which we'll jump to. It's like I say, I mean, you could just, let's go on to landscaping, go to sculpting, raise and lower. So let's go out to that, and let's lower. There you go. Right, so if you decided, as you can see, now I'm eating into my money, but if you wanted to create a quarry and have rock and stuff in it, you could. You do have that ability. That would be quite cool. I'd like to say, my mind is racing. I'm just thinking of all these ideas, all these things that could be available. You could have sections on here, or a section on here that you need to, if you're terraforming, you need to clear it of the rock that's all over it. You need to get all the minerals and stuff out of the ground to ship back to Earth. I don't know. There's a whole load of things you could do. But as you've just seen, you've got the ability to landscape if you wanted to. Oh, I was just going in there. I got sidetracked, didn't I? I was just thinking. I don't remember talking about the cows, because there are some bits of equipment in here as well. So, each cow barn, 80 cows, 160 the requirement. And then if we go between the 2 and out the other side, we do have another liquids tank, we do have a slurry spreader, and we do have a manure spreader. So once the animals are producing those things, and that'll be for your milk as well, you can grab them from here, take them out and utilise those for your planting, for your growing of your crops. It's so, I don't know, it's so weird. I just keep smiling. It's that thing, you know, Frontier was one of those ones that kind of blew my mind, and I've done map tours on hundreds of maps now over FS17, 19, 22. And when you get a map like this, like that one that was the big sand pit, the sand lot in the garden with all the large, you know, that was another one of those things. It just, I don't know, it makes you feel very childlike, and it's just so different. It's like your brain's trying to cope with what's happening, and you're looking around thinking, this is Farming Simulator. I'm on a Farming Simulator map. It's kind of a mix between Starfield and Construction Simulator and Farming Simulator all in one. Very cool. Anyway, over here, lime station and debris crusher. Now again, there are loads of modded ones if you want to produce your own lime. If you've got stones turned on when you're doing your plan on your fields, you absolutely can. But there's your lime station, your debris crushers over here, and there are a few different debris crusher productions available for various different products as far as mining goes and that kind of thing. Oh, so you've got little bits like this. kind of closed off mine shaft. So as far as sell points, productions, you can put all sorts of stuff in here. And then we come through to a little bit of forested area we have already, which is just here. And through the other side, I say through the other side, it's not particularly densely populated, but through the other side, we have got the sawmill. Now, if you wanted to, you could blend all those fields together and have one massive field, and each season do a crop. Whether you would get 800,000 litres off of all of that, I don't know. Is 20 years long enough? Could you do it in 20 years? Would you need to expand and plough up a lot of this open area? Plough up the top section? You could do agroforestry. So if you've got to plant 10,000 trees, do some crop work in between the trees. That, of course, would all be your choice. I'm also thinking about the parameters that we've been given to win the game, and thinking about all the things I just talked about all the various different mining alternatives, all of the lime rock breaking. I mean, if you didn't want to follow those rules, you don't have to. I mean, it's there as a kind of a guideline. You could adjust them. You could make it, you got to have more. I know I've said this already, but there are so many ways you can go about this. Everyone will approach it differently, and everyone will approach it with a different idea of what they want to do with it. So wood processing, this is your sawmill just here, and that is the map. That is Mars the Mission by Farmer Bob. What I'm going to do, I don't think it's going to allow me to get up there, but let's turn the engine off. Jump out, go into our drone mode. Can we get up onto here? We can. Oh, there we go. So there's your spaceport. So the shuttles come and go from here. Just go from there. Oh, is there one leaving already? Oh, that was weird. There you go. I was just behind it then. There it is. Oh, how about that for timing? There you go. How about that then? Anyway, that's the map. Master Mission by Farmer Bob. I know I've said that already. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.